All right, guys, the watch list for Wednesday. Some strange action in the SPY. Last few days it's been bizarre, but it is absolutely holding this area. We've had intraday sell-offs 2 days in a row, only to close very close to the highs of the day today, at the highs of the day. And I told the chat room, I said, you can't really help but be bullish going into tomorrow. We didn't get down to this trend line. It doesn't mean we won't later, but I'm actually leaning up bullish tomorrow, okay? Because the market's been pretty darn resilient. Here it is on 15-minute candles, going over the last several days. And man, we are holding this 180, 150 area. That is an area you should probably put a horizontal line on your chart right there, because if we do roll over, it has found great support there. But look at these afternoon rallies. This was today off the lows. This was yesterday off the lows. And really impressive strength today. All right, having said all that, and with kind of a bullish mindset going into tomorrow now, I'm very flexible. If things, open down or things change, you got to be thinking short, if or be flexible enough to lean short if things don't look bullish after the market opens. All right, but having said that, right now I'm bullish. So my watch list for tomorrow, Cree is on watch because it's held this support at 54 bucks so many times, here, several times over the last couple weeks, and fairly strong close. So I actually have that on long watch. Great support below. TJX long watch, again, peaked below the 200-day 3 days in a row, but then closed up near its highs. So that's on long watch. HTZ did a great job holding support today. You've got great support in this area, all right? And that line's not in the perfect spot, but then you can see right here it hit the 200-day, and it's done really well from this 200-day and this whole area down here. Closed up near its highs, so and kind of in the middle of a mess there, so don't love it. Actually, don't love any of these that I just showed you, but HIMX had earnings, I think, right after the bell. We actually got a trade in this one today. Got a 15-20 cents real quick on it, but you got to like the fact that it closed or opened down a little bit, sold off, and then closed near its highs. So I'm just looking for that bounce to continue, knowing that earnings are behind us now, and we close toward the high of the day. This one could continue higher. ARWR had this on bounce watch today. Got very close to the 200-day, where I definitely would have been looking for a trade, but it didn't quite get there. It just goes back on bounce watch tomorrow. DHR, nice bounce off the 200-day and held this 72 support, which it's done really well at holding. You can see back here you had this long base, held it there, and then today hit it, closed near its highs after hitting it, and the 200-day touch. And of course Yahoo we had to put on watch. Let me go to after hours trading and show you what's going on there if you haven't already seen it. All the way up through 37.50 in after hours, sitting right now at about 36.50, and here's the daily chart. So we're about up right about where my arrow is here. So that one's got to go on watch tomorrow. And having said all that, like I said, I'm not in love with any of these. But in the chat room, what we do is we try to find intraday opportunities, maybe based on scanners that are relevant to the daily chart. I'll show you a couple examples. HTZ is one today. When HTZ look like this down here, I told everybody this was hitting the 200-day and daily support. Look what happens when you switch. Let me get the after hours off there again. Look what happens when you switch to 15-minute candles. How clean of a turn this gave. And you can't see it on this chart, but that was right at that 200-day and daily support. Look at if you just play this off a 15-minute basis. In other words, a break over this green candle's high, 25.45. I'd love to tell you I did that. I identified the area and then was looking at something else when that triggered, but it gave a great bounce. And the same thing with Hog. These are examples of the things we look at in our chat room. When Hog, which is Harley Davidson, looked like this, I said, hey, HOG is hitting the 200-day here. And again, look at the 15-minute setup. And that was the low of the day. And then on the daily, what do you have? Now you've got, what looks like a bottoming tail that just touched the 200-day. That's a great way to play them, though. And that is one tactic that we use in the chat room a lot, looking for stocks getting what we call intraday shape into relevant areas like the 200-day, like the 50-day, or recent support, resistance, that sort of thing. This is my second day in a row of calling what I call set and forget trades. And what I've done is develop a system. If I see one that I like the idea, but I don't want to get whipped out of the trade, I'll call it as a set and forget trade. And what's meant to be done there is to be traded smaller with a wider stop. Okay, and so I've got 2 days under my belt. Yesterday we ended up making about 20 cents a share on our only set and forget trade. And yesterday was the first day. Today, LNC, I got $1 a share out of this one, and I'll show you the call here. LNC looked like this when I called it. Now, you can see that it had run up, really since yesterday's low, it had run up into that 3-day high, okay? Also, was hitting the 200-day. So you've got a 3-day high and the 200-day from underneath. And again, this is what it looked like when I called it short, okay? Because it's hitting a 3-day high, straight up off the open, and the 200-day. I was looking for a reversal there. I called it short at 46.82, and look, it got all the way down and covered the entire position at 45.82. The thinking behind these trades is you take them smaller, wider stop, and then you can either just let it work or it won't. Okay, that doesn't mean we don't cover at some point. And when it got down to that 3-day low, I thought to myself, hey, this has support down here. We're up $1 in the trade, so I went ahead and called it as a close right there, or covered the entire position. I'm trying to do these without having to scale out, so that's why I set and forget. You can trade them smaller. I'm not scaling out in parts. My mentality is it's either going to work or it isn't, and I'm going to use the whole position, one in and one out. So anyway, LNC was very nice. Got $1 a share out of that one today. And so I plan to at least try to call one of those every day. And I'll be posting, as soon as I've got a couple weeks under my belt, I'll be posting the results of those on the website as well. All right, I'm going to quit babbling. Looking forward to trading tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow.